Hello, before this video starts, I know I'm late to the party and Season 1 has already started. I do not need you to state that in the comments below, and if anything's been changed, nerfed, buff, or whatever the fuff, just know that this was pre-recorded way before that point. Anyways, with that out of the way, I have definitely moved some people around on the tier list since I have created this one, and especially since Rubber Band Man and Invisible Girl have came out. So it's a fairly accurate tier list, but not exactly accurate to how I think about the game now. And also, if you want to play a little drinking game, anytime I say underwhelming, take a sip, because boy, I say it a lot in this video, and I noticed it while I was editing, and I just did not feel like going back and recording over it again to say a different word. So have fun with that. And this one's not as heavily edited as my last tier list. I just wanted to say that before the video starts, because I'm lazy and I don't feel like putting in that much effort to something that probably isn't going to pop off like it usually does. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get on to the tier list. See ya! Alright, hello and welcome everyone. Today I will be doing a Marvel Rivals tier list video, because I've been playing this game a fair decent bit, and I just wanted to make a tier list video before Season 1 starts, giving my thoughts and opinions on every hero in the game so far. Now, none of this is scripted, it's all coming off the dome, so excuse me if I'm being a little misinforming and whatnot, but just know my opinion is law, and everything I say is factual. I do not care about your feelings. I need to stop saying that. People actually get offended at that crap. It's a joke, guys. Come on. I know I'm a crybaby and whine a lot whenever it comes to all these characters, but you know, this is my thoughts and opinions. So if you disagree, you disagree. I don't really care. We're just gonna get on with it here. We're gonna start at A and go all the way to W because there is no Z characters, and we're gonna start with Adam Warlock. We'll be reviewing their abilities via the overview option over here. Now, Adam Warlock, I think he's a pretty decent healer. He's got Soul Bomb, which is basically like Zenyatta's healing orb. And yes, I'm going to be making a lot of Overwatch comparisons, so strap in for that, all you Marvel fanboys out there. But it's healing over time, which is pretty nice. He can also just heal with the second ability, which is pretty cool. And it also heals himself if nobody is selected. So he's got self-sustain and all that good stuff. His primary and his alt fire are pretty nice. And then finally, we got the big one, the Mega Mercy ult. So this thing can just revive an entire enemy team. It's like Mercy's old ult, but even better. It's really awesome. I love this ability. So with all that said, you could tell that I'm glazing Adam Warlock pretty well. And I want to put him in S tier. I really do. But I feel like there's going to be one thing preventing that for a lot of these characters, and that's going to be the lack of movement. He has no movement abilities whatsoever. If a DPS catches him by himself and he doesn't have his self-heal on him, he's good as dead. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and put him in A tier. A for Adam Warlock. Funny joke, whatever. But moving on to our next character, we have Black Panther. Now, Black Panther is a pretty interesting character. To start off, he's a melee character, and I think melee characters aren't like the greatest, especially considering their damage output compared to the healing output in this game. It also takes a lot of concentration to use this character, I feel. I really think he should be at a 5-star difficulty, because first off, you have to put the Vibranium mark on people by using your alt fire or your spinning kick. I think those are the only two that, like, apply it. But you have to put this mark on people to be able to refresh your dash on Spirit Rend, his first ability. So this character is just a lot of flicky nonsense. I feel like you're just gonna have to have really good reaction time to be able to track enemies and keep up with who all you're putting a mark on. As you can see in the demonstration video right here, he has to dash forward, then quickly turn around to hit the other ones. Now imagine that in movement. It's pretty difficult to keep up with. His ult's also kind of underwhelming. It's pretty quick to come out, but it also like hits in a cone, so it can be just a little deceiving where it's actually going to hit. And on top of all that, he basically has a red tear stone ring where he deals more damage at low health, so yeah, that's kind of doo-doo ass, because you don't want to be at low health to begin with in this game, because you could just die by being farted on, basically. But I think I talked about Black Panther enough. I'm going to go ahead and put him in B tier for Black Panther. I think he's really good in the right hands, but you also have to take into consideration that I feel like Black Panthers have to rely on what their team comp is a lot of the times, because sure, they can go in there and mow down people, but if they're not being healed or getting properly defended, or team's not distracting the enemy in some way, shape, or form, like a Black Panther's not going to perform well. So that's why I put him in B tier, and I just think that other DPS are just better choices overall. But anyways, moving on to the next hero on the list, we have Black Widow. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Black Widow. I'm really not even going to go over any of her abilities whatsoever. This character is just bad. She is just absolutely horrid. I don't understand why she is so underwhelming. Especially when Hawkeye just blows everybody out the water in terms of damage and just overall kit design. I don't know. She's just a very underwhelming, lackluster, poorly designed character for this game. I mean, it really stands out because everyone else is just so amazingly flushed out, and then you just have Black Widow, which I guess is in character because she is just a human. Like, that used to piss me off in the Avengers movies so much. I'm like, why is Black Widow here? She's just a person. But anyways, yeah, like I said, she's D tier. Easily D tier. I do not care if you are the best Black Widow in the universe. I do not want to see you on my team ever. It brings me back to the Overwatch days when I see somebody lock in Widowmaker, which Widowmaker could do stuff, but I'd just rather have another DPS on my team at that point. Anyways, moving on to the big mean green bean machine himself, the Hulk. So Hulk, I think, is a freaking phenomenal tank. Like, the fact that whenever he's transforming, he just immediately goes invincible and you can't damage him while he's doing that, and he gets a full health bar back, that's insane to think about. Because at the beginning of the match, you start as Bruce Banner, and if you're defending, you could just pepper the enemies from the point. Then whenever they try to get on the point, just immediately go the Hulk. And boom, you're at a full health bar and you're ready to do some tanking duties. Like, he's just really awesome. He's got a ranged attack. He has his radioactive Hawk Tua that just completely immobilizes the enemy. Sure, they don't take any damage, except from the Hulk. He can knock them out of it early, but still, just being able to stop an enemy for a couple of seconds is usually detrimental for their team. Now, for the first con, I think, of the character is his leap ability. Like, it's an awesome ability. It can grab airborne opponents out of the sky and slam them to the ground, which is also stupidly cool. But it's just the fact that I have to hold down the space bar to do it. I wish I could just charge it up a different way and then store it away for me to, like, use it at any point whenever I need it. I think that'd be a lot better way to do it, but the way it just works right now is super freaking clunky and does not feel good. And then finally, to me, his best ability, his indestructible guard, which makes you... Also, it can apply a shield to allies around you, and also it charges your ult for all damage you take. My god, that's just insanely good. Hulk Smash, another one to where you just become completely invulnerable to damage while you're transforming, so that's always awesome. In Hulk Smash, you get extra damage. You could grab an enemy and do the freaking famous puny god scene from the Avengers movie. Still has the radioactive Hawk Tua. Still has the incredible leap. Still has the gamma burst. He's just all around a good tank. I'm gonna say, and you might think I'm crazy for doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and put Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk, in S tier. The only thing that I think is bad about him is his incredible leap, and I think it's clunky, but still, that's more of a personal thing for me just because of the way the ability functions. But yeah, I do believe that Hulk should be in S tier. Moving on to the poster boy of the Marvel Universe, we have Captain America! I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could say that this character was better than what I think that he is. He's got this awesome primary fire to where he throws the this, so he has like pseudo ranged attacks because you actually have to connect the enemy to be able to throw the shield in the first place. And then we got leading dash, which is just basically a sprint that can also lead into a super jump. We got the classic tossing a shield and it bounces between enemies and deals damage, which is kind of underwhelming. It barely does any damage. I feel like the more enemies that it bounces off of, that it should like deal increased damage. Liberty Rush is just a shield bash. Pretty generic, can get him out of tight situations. Now, this one's pretty nice. He can hold up his shield and reflect projectiles. Whenever I was initially using this ability, I did not know that it reflected projectiles, and he can even reflect an Iron Man ult back at him. That's just so insane. That is so good. But then we come to the piece de la resistance. I think I said that correct. The Freedom Charge. This move, people will arguably say, is the worst ult in the game. Sure, it gives you bonus health, it increases your movement speed, but overall, it's just not good. I see the most helpful usage for this is probably using it out of spawn to get your allies to the point quicker. But yeah, that's just the most practical use, I would say, for it. Either that or just you're trying to get like bonus health or something. It's just a very underwhelming ult. But with all that said, where do I think Captain America should land? I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the B tier because he's a good tank, I'm not gonna lie, but he just lacks damage and overall sustain. And with that said, we'll move on to the next on the list, Cloak and Dagger. I'm just going to like go ahead and tell you this character in S tier. The reasoning why I think this character is S tier, their primary fire is auto aim, and anything that is console player friendly is immediately an S tier in my book. Overall, insanely, stupidly good healing abilities, and just absolutely good supporting abilities from Cloak. So yeah, Cloak and Dagger, insanely good character, stupid healing, stupid support, dumb Google Gaga baby auto aim. And yeah, we're just gonna move on to the next character, Doctor Strange. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This has to be the funnest character in the game to me. Doctor Strange, good damage overall, awesome sustainability, has a shield that has a lot of health, can levitate to get out certain enemies' fire or just escape melee characters altogether, basically. An ultimate that just is like the best CC in the game, completely astral projects somebody. And also, upon looking at this ult demonstration, I did not know that you could like hit the soul and deal damage. That's something new I learned. But the absolute most fun thing about this character, his portal. This guy just straight up puts a teleportation portal on the field. It can be used to shoot through. It can be used to get behind the enemy lines and do a flank at the beginning of the match when they're all set up at a certain choke point. This ability just has so many uses. It does have a pretty stupid cooldown, like almost 2 minutes. Like, for as good as it is, it needs that 2-minute cooldown. Also didn't know about this passive. That kind of sucks. I was wondering why at certain points I couldn't be healed with Doctor Strange, but overall that's a pretty good passive for as much damage as this dude can do with his second ability. But yeah, Doctor Strange, easily S tier. Now, do I think he's like broken S tier? Nah, I think that Doctor Strange, good example of what characters should be in this game. Insanely good, but not broken. Anywho, off of the Strange and into the Groot. Whenever you're playing this character, it feels like you're playing ARMS. You know, the game that Min-Min's from. I know at this point, ARMS is a very obscure game. Anyways, off of the ARMS subject, Groot just be laying down walls. And these walls can hit you. These walls can provide you with health. And most importantly, these walls can block off enemies. But above all that, Groot has a crazy good ult that, no pun intended, roots the enemies, which can then be grouped up with like an Iron Man ult or a freaking Jeff ult or Moon Knight ult or just any ult in general, I guess. So yeah, with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and put Groot in A tier. I think he's like kind of in a mix. He's probably A+ or S- if that's even a thing. but he's probably in that, like, area. Just, he's edging S tier. Let's put it that way. The giant, massive tree is edging. Groot. Okay, on to the next one. Hawkeye! Yeah, this is another character that I'm not even going to spend a lot of time on. He's just Hanzo from Overwatch on release. Doesn't even have to, like, completely aim at you half the time. He can hit you from, like, 12 meters away. A fully charged arrow can just one-shot somebody. His ult, he just sees after images of enemies, and he can shoot the after images to deal damage to them. So he doesn't even have to directly hit you to deal damage to you when he has his ult. This character's just dumb. Why is he 4 stars? Anyways, pseudo console friendly character. He does have to aim, but he has a weird form of auto aim to where he doesn't completely have to hit you to deal damage to you. So yeah, Hawkeye S tier easily. On to the next. Like Hawkeye, this character is absolutely stupid. A maximum of 3 hits with primary fire can kill a squishy. Not to mention, this bit can turn into a bird and just straight up fly away if she does not feel like fighting you. Her second ability is also really stupid. She just has a gravity spear that pulls in enemies. If you're trying to escape, she can just do that, pull you back in, and finish you off. Because like I said earlier, it usually takes 3 hits if you're playing a squishy. Oh yeah, if she kills somebody, she basically summons a bird that explodes on the corpse of the enemy. We ain't even gonna get into the ult. This bitch just basically turns into AC 130, rains meteors from the sky, gains a fuck ton of health for some stupid reason. But yeah, hella easily friggin' S tier. There's no absolute debating that. And yes, she is in the broken S tier. Let me divide this up actually. From Bruce back here, this is going to be like the good S tier, like absolutely just good all around cool characters. From Hawkeye onward, these are the busted tier. Like this is going to be the absolute fuggly buggly tier. Hold on, can I don't think I can add another tier, but yeah, that's how it's going to be divided from now on. Anyways, with that out of the way, on to the next. Iron Fist! I'm gonna go ahead and say this character is pretty freaking good. He does have a form of auto-aim, which I don't think is a bad thing on melee characters. Basically, if he has this little dot and he, like, presses his melee attack on you, he'll zoom towards you and hit you, which is nice for closing the distance. I honestly do not think that's a busted thing whatsoever, and anyone who says otherwise, come at me, bro. I'll give you the Shaolin Shakedown any day of the week. But yeah, this guy has a dash that sort of works sometimes. I swear to God, I have missed this ability while being straight up right on the enemy, which seems to be a trend with a lot of melee characters to where their dash abilities just do not hit sometimes. He has awesome sustainability with his second ability that he meditates and regains health, which I think every DPS in this game should have some form of sustainability, and we just bring down the overall healing of healers in general. But that's also a discussion for another time. Bro can just straight up double jump, which is nice. This character's got movement for days. And then he has a parry system. If you hit him while he's parrying, he gains bonus health. When he enters the after effect of the parry state, he gains a bonus to his melee combat, which is just a flurry of punches. He can wall run. Jesus Christ, I'm running out of breath explaining all of this. Whenever he kills somebody, he gets health. I don't know what else to say about it. The only thing I would say that's a little bit underwhelming about him is his ult. But yeah, I see a lot of people complain about Iron Fist, and rightfully so. I guess they're justified. I don't know. But yeah, Iron Fist, overall, I think he's an A-tier character. He's really not as cracked as a lot of people make him out to be. He can be easily shut down. Just look out for him. If you know they got an Iron Fist, just use your fucking eyeballs, dude. Like, that's literally all it takes to counter this character, is just being aware of your surrounding. I feel like the most brain-dead people are the ones that complain about him because they just don't know how to look over their shoulder and they're so hyper-focused on one thing. Anyways, Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, whatever you wish to call him, is an A tier. Undisputed. Don't at me. Next, we got Iron Man. Iron Man, I'm not gonna lie, is a very obnoxious character for me. The fact that this sucker can fly and just continuously fly is the part that annoys me. The characters that force you to switch off of who you're currently playing to deal with them, it's just such an obnoxious freaking thing, man. I've recorded like 3 videos so far, 2 of which were melee characters, and I just encountered so many Iron Mans that I just can't do nothing about. Granted, one of them I was playing Iron Fist, and he can kind of just jump up, hit the enemy in the sky, and lock onto him, but if an Iron Man just completely flies up, there's nothing I can do about it because I run out of jumps, and I fall back to the ground, which then he proceeds to just shoot me, which is just dumb. He has AoE damage as well, which is just crazy to me because the fact he stays in the air 24/7. I don't think people are like truly understanding this. 100 hours day and night, man. He's up there. He also has hypervelocity, which is a dash that he can use that does not have a cooldown, and he has an ult that literally just one-shots people. I'm not going to spend too long on it because Iron Man is just an obnoxious character and it's hurting my brain just thinking about it. And I'm also not going to be too biased, but Iron Man's an A tier. The only reason he's not an S tier is because he can just get shot down immediately by the likes of Hawkeye and Hela and any other sniper in existence except maybe this little bitch right here. But yeah, super obnoxious character. I feel like if they just made his flight on a cooldown, or at least made his dash on a cooldown, like something, man. It's just dumb. I don't like the character. Anyways, on to everyone's most beloved character in this game, Jeff, the Land Shark. Jeff is another healer, which automatically puts him in a very high tier because healers are just absolutely cracked in this game. But digressing from that, my little shark puppy here has a move where he spits on his allies to heal them. This is a pretty good healing ability combined with his healing bubble that he can just spit out and it stays there for what seems like an indefinite amount of time that allies can pick up and be healed from. On to Jeff's probably most annoying ability, his dive underground. Now this move wouldn't be so bad if, for one, the only thing you can hit while he's underground is his fin, which has the smallest hitbox I've ever seen in a freaking shooter game. And secondly, he heals constantly while underground. So if you manage to shoot that little tiny fin poking up, he's just going to constantly heal it. Unless you have absolute godlike accuracy. Or, you know, just playing an auto-aim character. Not even going to get into that. And on to the thing that everyone loves the most, Jeff's ult. Now, there's a lot of complaints with this ult. A lot of people think that it should not swallow allies. I, on the other hand, think it should swallow allies, but the allies should have the chance of being able to bust out of it themselves. Maybe come out of his blowhole, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this ability is just dumb. Like, even if you try to super jump out of the radius of this ult, this thing snags you from so high up in the sky, like it doesn't even matter if you try to jump to escape it. Like, you're not getting out of it. And it keeps you in his mouth for such a long time. It deals damage underground, and it can just take you to the edge of the map and spit you out. And if you do not have a dash ability to get back on stage or some type of flight, you're dead. It's over. You're cooked. This ability, definitely something needs to be done about it. Like, it just needs slight little bit of changes, and I think it's completely fine. I like the ult. Don't get me wrong. I think it's an awesome ult. I just think that it needs some tweaking. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Jeff in S tier. I think he goes right about here. Like, he's almost a decently good S tier character, but he's also kind of broken with his ult. I think if his ult was fixed, he'd easily be over here, but for now, where he's at, he's right here. He's like a middle ground with that. Anyways, on to the final column of the first page. I think I need to start speeding these along a lot more because, how long have I been recording here? Almost a freaking hour, dude. Okay, it took me 1 hour to go over freaking, what is this, 714 characters here. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of blitz through the rest of these guys, alright? No more breaking them down into insane detail. Anyways, we got Loki. Loki, pretty good healer, summons clones, can heal allies with those clones. Also, he can deceive people by changing places with the clones and standing completely still and just confusing the fuck out of me. This ability needs to be nerfed. If you're under this thing, you're just basically invincible. You heal so rapidly that it needs something done about it. Like, just reduce the healing of it or something, please, for the love of fucking God. I'm so tired of seeing this shit just completely save people. Oh yeah, nice little smite reference you got going on here. Backstab, deal more damage to enemies from behind. Don't know if anyone plays smite. I know I reference it a lot and it's kind of dying at the current moment, but yeah, that's Loki's passive in smite. If that's actual reference, good on them. Like, that's freaking sweet. I love that. And then his ult, he can just change into anybody and get their ult, which is kind of like Echo in Overwatch, but I think she can only like copy enemies, maybe allies. It was one of the two. She could only copy one of the two, but being able to copy anybody, dude, the potential for this shit is just infinite. But yeah, Loki easily S tier. I say he's kind of in the same category as Jeff, to where he's kind of on the broken side of S tier, kind of on like the good side of S tier. I just think that one ability that completely makes them invulnerable is the thing that's putting him in the middle ground for it. Like, he'd be over here if he didn't have that, and he'd be over here if it was any freaking better. But yeah, he's in the same realm as Jeff for now. Alrighty mighty, on to page 2, and the first one we got is son of a bitch, is Luna Snow. This character has the burst fire that damages enemies and heals allies, so you know it's already kind of cracked. Not to mention, she has good sustainability for herself because she can just heal herself whenever she casts ice abilities. So needless to say, this bit is always going to be healthy while she's also producing damage. She's got CC that just completely freezes you and you can't do anything about it, which is so fucking annoying. I fucking hate it. And then we got her ult, which just might as well make people completely immune with how much fucking healing it does. It's absolutely dumb. It can also be switched to give a damage boost, which is just stupid. And on top of all that, she just gains sprint after moving for like maybe half a second. Yeah, this character pisses me off, man. Luna Snow easily like in the broken category over here. She might be one of the best healers in the game, if not the best, actually. Okay, on to a character that I very, very much enjoy in this game.
Magic.
And why I said I enjoy her, that doesn't mean that she is fucking good. This character is all types of disappointing. From her dash ability just not connecting half of the freaking time. Like, what is with that, Marvel Rivals? Why do these melee-like dashes just not connect half the time? Please fix it. Anyways, to her first ability just being so underwhelming. Why? She, like, goes through a portal, but it only goes, like, 1 footstep, man. Like, what is the point of this? It's broken up into 2 charges, so you can use it twice, but I'd much rather it just be a longer dash that you can maybe control a little bit better, because you're on a horizontal plane as well. Like, you can't go up or down with this. There's no vertical movement with it. You just go straight forward. Like, if you're gonna have it like that, please make it to where I can just, it's 1 charge and I could dash, like, a little further, bro. Man, it's so annoying and underwhelming. But she does gain 2 alternate abilities from using her portal dash. She does a swing that does not do a lot of fucking damage whatsoever, and the enemy is probably just going to get healed by the time you use it. So there's no goddamn point in doing it to begin with unless the enemy has literally 1 piece of health that can just be nicked off. But at that point, why not just attack or summon your freaking little demon, which is her second ability out of it, that sits in 1 place and slashes them over time. Also, before I get off the portal ability, this is another thing that annoys me about it. You have to click either your swing or your demon. You can't, like, press your first ability again and do another portal dash or do your second dash or do anything else out of it. You have to choose one of the 2 before you, like, go into another action, which is just so obnoxious, man. Like, the demon's probably the one I always go for because you can lay him out. He also counts as his own hitbox, so maybe if you're running away from somebody, the person behind you will hit the demon instead of you. But yeah, with that said, the demon's also a little underwhelming. She just kind of lays it in front of her, which I don't even know if it's in character. I don't know this character whatsoever, but I wish she just like grabbed it and chunked that little motherfucker. That'd be so funny. And like, if it was like an actual hit scan ability where I could chunk it and then it latches on somebody to scratch them and deal damage over time, that'd be so fucking sweet, dude. And her passive, we might as well not even fucking talk about this because this is probably the worst goddamn passive in the game, man. At the rate that you get hit, there is no point in even like calculating the bonus health into the equation because like the damage you take just does not constitute for how much bonus health you would get from it. It's just a really bad passive, man. And finally, her ult. This is something we're also not going to talk about. It is so bad. The fact she doesn't get extra health, the fact that she swings slower, sure it does damage over time, I don't care. It's just bad, man. It is so bad. Please buff this ult. Please, for the love of fucking God. It is so bad. Anyways, Magic, as much as I hate to say it, she's C tier. I know healers complain about her a lot, just like any other melee character in this game, the healers are gonna bitch about. But no, she's a bad character. Like, I really do not know what the fuck else to say. Her kit's alright, they just need to improve it. I would really like to be a demon chunker for her one ability, but I understand if that's not in the realm of possibility. But still, as far as it goes, C tier for Magic. Alright, on to a little more promising character. Magneto! Magneto's a pretty solid tank, just like most tanks in this game, to be honest. But yeah, Magneto kind of reminds me of Sigma from Overwatch in a way. He has a shield, which is always good. Tanks with a shield just automatically put them a tier above the rest. Bro also reminds me of Zarya because he can just put a bubble around allies and himself to completely nullify damage. He has a pushback ability, which is always good for a tank. CC on a tank, very nice. And finally, he has this very confusing ult to me. Like, I know he just basically shoots a giant ball, but apparently somehow it can be broken or something like that. I don't know. Like, I fully don't get it, but overall, this is a pretty good ability. Also, like, just completely sucks the enemy's fire inward. But yeah, Magneto, pretty solid character, not gonna lie. S for solid, bro. And he goes right into the, like, good S tier, not the bad S tier, but yeah, he goes into there. Next up, we got Mantis. Mantis is another healer. She's one of the ones that does not heal allies with her primary fire, which you think would make her a little worse than the rest. But the thing that makes Mantis so good is that her alt fire just basically heals allies over time. So she does not have to look at you to heal you, is basically what I'm saying. Other than that, this stupid antennaed freak has an AoE sleep effect. If you thought Ana from Overwatch was bad with her sleep dart, just imagine an AoE crop dusting cloud hitting you and putting you to sleep. Like, that's a thing of nightmares, man. Sure, your teammates can shoot the little astral projection on your back and break you out of the sleep, but man, just make it a hit scan ability. A lot of people complain about Ana in Overwatch for her sleep dart, but man, at least she had to aim the fucking thing. Like, at least she had to aim. And her ult's just basically a pseudo Luna ult, so you already know, like, that's stupidly busted and good and broken. But yeah, she's a pretty good healer. She can deal damage while she's just healing allies. Just look over, pop your alt fire on an ally, and then just go back to working your primary fire on enemies. She's a pretty good blend of DPS and healer. But yeah, I put her in the good side of S tier. I don't think she's really that broken. She doesn't have as much healing output as most other healers, but like I said, the payoff for it is just being able to look away and also get back to the fight herself. Anyways, next up on the list, we have Moon Knight. Now, people love to bitch about this character to no end, and sure, he is kind of fuck-busted in a way. Like, his primary fire basically does what I wish Captain America's fire did, just bouncing among enemies, but dealing more damage than Cap. I think the most part that people hate about the character is the fact that he doesn't have to aim. He can just summon down his second ability, his Ankh, and just fire into that. Not to mention it pulls enemies in, which is kind of obnoxious, but it also does not as much damage as just his regular fire. So basically, this is just a cop-out for people with bad aim. And then his ult, I admittedly will say, is kind of ass. Like, this is one of those ults that needs to be combined with, like, Groot's pull or something to actually make it good. But yeah, Moon Knight's just another one of those characters that people like to complain about just purely for the fact they're not paying attention to their surroundings, not destroying his onks, and just grouping up overall whenever, if you know they have a Moon Knight on the team, that's not the fucking thing to do. But yeah, Moon Knight, I kind of want to put him in B tier. This is a little weird range right here. I say Moon Knight's... why, man? This one's confusing. I'm putting him in B tier. Anybody that complains about him is usually just not aware of their surroundings, so that's my justification for that. Just be a good player. That's all it takes to take care of Moon Knight. Anyways, on to the next. Namor. This is one Marvel character that I know absolutely fucking nothing about. I've never even heard of this dude up to this point. He's just like discount Aquaman, and Aquaman fucking sucks. Who likes Aquaman? Anyways, this character's pretty obnoxious. I'm not gonna go too much into depth with him. He has auto turrets, which is automatically just a piss-off move. Like, why add something like that in the game? He's also a pretty good counter to melee characters, because he could just lay those turrets out around him, and a melee character approaches, and those turrets just take care of them, like get them to low enough health. He turns around and chucks a spear right into their forehead. His ult's also insanely good. It just summons a giant whale that pounces on the enemies, does CC by knocking them over, and deals a lot of damage. Plus, there's not really an indication. By the time you barely hear that horn call, you can't get out of the way of it because the whale's already there to hit you. Yeah, Namor, he easily I'm just putting him in the broken S tier. I don't care. This is a biased one, alright? Auto turrets, I don't like them. I do not like them. They fire way too fast as well. Like, maybe if they just peppered you slightly over time, but something like Torbjorn's turrets to where they just consistently fire and just deal so much damage, I don't like it, man. The fact he can lay two of them out as well, no, I'm justified. I don't care. All right, then we got Penny Parker. Not much to say about Penny either. She's a pretty good tank. Spider mines. If you got a bunch of these down and a squishy walks over them, they're just fucking dead, bro. They're just non-existent. You have knocked them out of this dimensional plane. And a Penny that knows what to do, that gets her setup going, you're just fucked. You're just fucked at that point. Kiss her ass goodbye, dude. Yeah, Penny's going in the broken S tier as well. Next, we got Psylock. Another kind of melee character that people love to complain about. She has very good damage output with her primary fire, but also they're kind of like shotgun blasts, kind of like Doomfist's Knuckle Blaster from Overwatch. So you gotta get close to really do anything with her. She can turn invisible, gain movement speed, which is pretty nice. If she gets hit in it though, she gets knocked out of it. And then she has a pretty good ult if the enemies do not have an escape move. If they have an escape, this is just easily an F tier ult. Like, all they gotta do is dash up out of it, and yeah, wasted ult, man. Anyways, with all that said, Psylock, I'm gonna go ahead and put her in B tier as well. She's really good, just kind of underwhelming. She doesn't do as much as, you know, like Iron Fist would do. But don't get me wrong, she's not a bad character. She's just mid is what I'm saying. But next up, we got Raccoon. First and foremost, before I get on the explanation of this character, why the fuck is he a healer? Like, I get they needed to fill out healer and support slots for this game, But man, really? Rocket Raccoon, the little guy that's known for having big guns and big weapons and doing a lot of mischief and havoc, freaking a healer, man? Anyways, primary fire, he's got a machine gun. Alt fire, he shoots little orbs that heal allies near them. They slow down to heal you. He's got a jetpack dash, which I guess is cool. He's got a revive, which is pretty nice. Really like this ability. Just sucks that, you know, he can't revive himself. And then his ult is just a generic, like, laying out a damage boosting field. Like, man, this character just is underwhelming in terms of, you know, like, who he is. I haven't even seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but as much as this character's being hyped up to be the little man, big weapon type guy, he just does not pack a lot of firepower in this game. Did I miss Punisher? Oh, the Punisher. Okay, never. Anyways, back to Rocket. Rocket Raccoon, I'm putting him in C tier. I mean, he could be a pretty good healer and everything. Actually, no, his healing's lackluster. He can revive people, which is nice. He can damage boost, but, you know, Mantis can do that with just a normal ability. Yeah, he's easily underwhelming. Like, they just need to do a kit redesign on this guy at this point. Just scrap him and, like, completely re-release him as a character, because a lot of my friends are very underwhelmed and just disappointed with his overall character in this game. But yeah, Rocket and C. On to the next. Oh boy.
Scarlet
Bitch. Yep, difficulty 1 star. Yeah, that should be like maybe a 4th, just a quantum speck of a star. This is easily, and I don't care what any of you top players say, the best and easiest character in the game. Like I said, anything that's console friendly, easily putting up to the S tier. You see this right here? She's not even looking in the general direction of that other Punisher and she locked onto him. What is this, man? Can we, like, take away auto aim in every game, bro? Unless it's an ult like StarLord or something. You see this little thing right here too? Hinders and locks you in place as if she even needed to aim at you. Also, right here, just something that does more damage. Like, why she need it? Why she need it? Why she need more damage on top of the damage she's already doing? This dash. 2 of these, by the way. 2 of these. Why does this bitch get 2 charges of this? 1 charge. 1 charge. Take it down. 1 charge. Don't make it a longer dash. Just make it 1 charge. I'll be fine with it, okay? It's dumb. I hate that. I really hate that. And then we got her ult, which is probably the most underwhelming part of the character. It's pretty good. It can, like, insta-shot people, but she usually gets shot down before she could even use it. But like I said, why complain about this being underwhelming whenever the rest of her kit is just absolutely fucking cracked? Yeah, fuck Scarlet Witch. Easily most broken S tier in the game. Undisputed. Don't care. Didn't ask. On to the next character. Spiderman. Not much to say about Spiderman. He's overall a pretty decent character. He's got good maneuverability. His ult, which annoys the piss out of me. Like, it's cool. It does massive amounts of damage. That's nice. I don't care about that. The fact that it CCs you and wraps you up for him to finish you off is the part that makes me angry about this ult. But yeah, not much else to say about Spider-Man. I think he's a pretty decent guy. I don't think he's insanely broken in S tier. Like, sure, he has moves that piss me off. He's hard to hit whenever he's just swinging through the fucking air like he's playing Spider-Man PS4 or something. He's just a decent character. I say he's A tier. Next up, we got Squirrel Girl. This Gooner Bait character is surprisingly underwhelming. She just has a lot of generic attacks. She's got a root with her alt fire, which is alright, I guess. Kind of hard to hit most of the time, to be honest. And then we have possibly the worst ult in the game. I think Captain America's is even better than this. Sure, it does damage. They stay out there for quite a bit of time, but, like, dude, this just sucks. Compared to an Iron Man blast that just one-shots people? What was the thought process behind this? Anyways, easily D tier with Black Widow. Like, these 2 characters, I want to kind of put her in C tier just because she has more utility than Black Widow, but not actually. Yeah, we're gonna put her in C tier because Black Widow is kind of like just in a league of her own. Anyways, on to my boy
StarLord.
StarLord sucks. I mean, he doesn't suck, but he sucks at the same time. Bro's got pretty good damage output. His alt fire, he does a flip and reloads his clip to maximize his damage. Dude's got pretty good maneuverability. With his first ability, he just rocket boots up out that bit if he's in danger, if he needs to get close to the enemy. Then he's got a second ability, which is auto aim, and you know how I feel about auto aim, but this does not do that much damage. Half the time whenever you're using this ability, they will just straight up kill you before you can even like take off a third of a health bar with it. But then we got his ult, which is possibly the best thing about the character. He just has Soldier 76 auto aim, but the best part about it is that he begins to fly while doing it, and also doing his flip in the air completely reloads his clip still. This is probably easily one of the best damage output ults in the game, if it doesn't get shut down by a shield or a Cloak and Dagger spitting a shroud at you. But yeah, I made my video, StarLord needs a buff. Dude, that was clickbait. He does not need a buff, really. I think bro's an A tier. I don't think he's like super broken. He's just a good, decent character. The maneuverability, I think his auto aim ability is a little bit lackluster. That one's the only one that I find is just really a bad option for him. But above all else, I think he's a pretty decent character. Next up, we got
Storm.
I've seen a lot of videos that keep saying that Storm is absolutely busted and people just aren't using her right. But you gotta understand, I don't give a fuck. This character is ass. She's fun. Don't get me wrong. I love playing Storm. But I think the one thing holding her back is the fact that she does not have a dash like Iron Man does. You know, just a swift little wind push or something like that. I think that would increase her playability a lot more because she's kind of a sitting duck half the time. Sure, she has this goddess boost thing that increases her movement speed a tiny bit, and also boost her ally speed around her, kind of like Lucio's ability in Overwatch. But it's just lackluster. It's not that good. The lightning strike on the lightning form of it is cool. I love that. And then her ult, she just summons Hurricane Katrina, does a straight blue hurricane up in this bit. That's awesome. I love this ult. Probably one of my favorite ults to use in this game. I love Storm. I love this character. But golly, is she underwhelming. I wouldn't say that she's exactly in C tier with the rest of these. I say maybe B tier just for the support that she can give her allies. But she is not like what other people are saying, and she's just absolutely broken S tier and everything. Storm needs something else going for her to make her a great character. Alright, we finally made it to the last page, and we're only 1 hour and 42 minutes into this recording. Next up, we have
The Punisher.
Punisher's pretty cool. He looks like he was ripped straight out of a fucking Gears of War game, but this character's pretty nice. He fulfills the need of all of the Call of Duty heads that play this game. Bro has a machine gun. Bro has a shotgun. This stupid zip line that I wish allies could use as well. That'd be pretty nice. He has Bastion form, which he just summons a turret, gets on it, and the turret has a lot of health. I think that's the only reason I truly hate this ability is just the health that the turret has and how hard it can be to hit the Punisher sometimes. But it's not that difficult to sneak up on him and kill him while he's in this form, because obviously he goes in first person and he can't see behind him. And then finally we have Judge, Jury, and Executioner, where he just like basically does a lot more damage output. There's not much to say about this ult other than it just does boom damage. But yeah, Punisher, I think he's a pretty good one. I think he's an A tier. Like, he's not that bad of a character. Definitely not broken, but definitely not something to scoff at. All right, next up we have
The God of Thunder, Thor.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Thor pisses me off. I do not like this character. He gets on your ass and he stays on your ass. Bro gets shielding to keep him alive, and it's just obnoxious. This guy is definitely like a trigger for most people. And the fact that he can just go into having ranged attacks if he can't catch up to you just to like finish you off could be so obnoxious, man. I think the only thing that's really bad about Thor is his ult. It's just a very underwhelming ult and does not do a lot of damage initially. But overall, I think Thor's like an A tier character. He's not super broken. He pisses me off, sure. I would easily put him in S tier if this was like a pissing me off tier list. But nah, like He's a good character. Next up, we got Venom. Slip it up, Venom. Venom. Slip it him up into Venom. Okay, enough of that. Venom is a character that just disappoints me in this game. Like, I don't know why. Just the fact that his primary fire, he just summons the tentacles to poke you. I wish that was more of an ability to where he just does a barrage rush of tentacles, and for his primary fire, he just punches the fuck out of you because he's a big, beefy, thick, caked up symbiote. But yeah, Venom's got a swing that is so obnoxious. If you have this on auto swing, it is probably the worst fucking ability in the game. I get so pissed off at it. I still not have tried manually swinging with this guy, but oh man, like it's discouraged me enough to not try this character again. This web slinging pisses me off so much. He's got a second ability, which is good, don't get me wrong. It just gives you bonus health out of nowhere to increase his survivability, but it's Venom, man. That's so boring. Alright, anyways, away from aesthetic purposes, we got this leap that is also probably one of the worst things I have felt in this game. This thing collides on the slightest bit of obstacles. Whenever it says you are going to land in a certain location, that is deceitful. You are not. You are going to possibly hit every single bit of corner that you possibly can while trying to land. So be aware, if you're not aiming for a complete open spot like in this clip, you are not going to hit this move. And his ult is ass, not gonna lie. He gains bonus health for each person he chomps, but the chomp barely does any damage. Like, if they're being healed, it might as well just consider that a wasted ult. You might as well use this just to get extra health. Like, that's all it needs to be used for at that point. Yeah, Venom, C tier. I was about to put him in D tier, but God, man. He's probably the worst out of all the tanks. I'm not gonna lie. He just needs more to him, man. Which is a shame, because Venom, I love Venom. Venom's one of my favorite Marvel characters ever. And they did my boy wrong. I got on the game, I was like, I'm maining Venom. I played Venom. I was like, I'm not maining Venom. Anyways, yeah, Venom C tier. Next up, we got
Bucky, the Winter Soldier.
Bucky's pretty good, but also kind of weird. He's got a pistol that only has 3 rounds in it, and I don't know, but just something about a gun having 3 rounds really disturbs me. But there's a reason for this little clip size. This guy can like 2-tap you if he hits headshots on you. And not to mention, any ability he uses reloads his clip. So basically, he can almost have kind of like an unlimited clip if you want to technically think like that. But yeah, he's like fires at you, he does his dash, knocks you up in the air, he gets his ammo back, he can finish you off. And then let's not even talk about this ult. It's pretty crazy that this guy can use this like, what, 62 times in a row if he can. Like, if he just keeps killing people, like, his ult's pretty cracked. But with all that said, Bucky's an A tier character. Yeah, I don't think he's busted or anything like that. I think he's pretty good, but he's another one of those characters that suffer from you need good aim and just the right plays to do anything with them.
All right, for the final hero, we got the man, the myth, the beast, Wolverine.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Wolverine's not as bad as everyone makes him out to be. Everyone puts this character in the absolute bottom D tier, somehow below Widowmaker, and I just do not understand it, man. He's really not that bad. I think it's mainly due to the fact that it takes like 80 seconds for his passive to come back. Like, that's the most insane thing about it. The most sustainability that this character has comes back in like, what, a minute and a half? It's crazy. I don't know why they designed that like that. And not to mention his feral leap is just nearly impossible to hit. I've been right up on people smelling their dick hole, and I still just miss this ability somehow. I don't know. Like I said, the melee dashes in this game, just there's something wrong with them. There's a glitch in the matrix. Something is going on. But yeah, he's got damage reduction, 2 dashes. Ultimate is pretty freaking nice. I really love the ultimate. He's just an all-around like decent character, but man, he does need a buff. I'm not saying that he's not a bad character, and I'm not trying to downplay anybody on their opinions on Wolverine, but yeah, I just don't think he's as bad as everyone says. But he's definitely a C tier guy. Definitely not in the same tier as Black Widow, or what the fuck is her name? Black Widow? Widowmaker? What is her name? Shit, I don't know. Forgettable ass character. Anyways, we got the Fantastic Four down here. I'm gonna easily call it right now, say that Mr. Fantastic may be the most broken character in the game. He has not been released yet at the time of this recording, but mark my words, he will be, like, in the top tier. Like, just the fact that he is a duelist, but also kind of a fucking tank at the same time is just insane. But yeah, guys, this is my Marvel Rivals tier list. If you disagree, I don't care, but let me know what you think down below. And I hope you all enjoyed hearing me yap about things that will probably be irrelevant next patch. We'll see if I can get this out before Season 1 starts. But yeah, everybody, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.